reproductive diagram for physiology. This will take care of the outline from here, male reproductive system, all the way through the hormonal control. You can go ahead and pause this video or follow along, and we'll take care of it in the diagram form. So the reproductive system and hormonal control. I fused the males and females because they're related in this system. So the negative feedback, it regulates hormone levels in our bodies. The positive feedback triggers ovulation in females. So how are these two related? We'll see how these two are related as well once we reach this area. The hypothalamus secretes a hormone GnRH, which is called the gonadotropin releasing hormone. Hormones communicate with other areas. They only communicate. The anterior pituitary secretes LH and FSH. The luteinizing hormone, LH, it's a messenger that tells our body, hey, we need to make more sex hormones. And it also triggers ovulation. Again, our hormones only communicate with our bodies. They do not make anything. They just communicate. The FSH, it is the follicle stimulating hormone. It is the stimulator for the oocyte and sperm. Oocytes and sperm are another name for gametes. Again, hormones are not makers. They're just messengers. So once the LH and FSH reach the gonads can then secrete male hormones, testosterone and DHT. Gonads, just to step back for a second, gonads is another name for testes or ovaries, testes in males, ovaries for females. The testosterone slash DHT gets made in the testes for males. Estrogen and progesterone gets made in the ovaries for females. This is actually where the production of either sex hormones like testosterone or estrogen and or oocytes or sperm get actually made. Gamete production occurs here. Reproductive function, developing of reproductive organs, and secondary sexual characteristics. Just from extra facts there. So once the LH and FSH reach the gonads, or this whole area is the gonads, some functions occur. So the LH reaches the gonads at the interstitial fluid, and it stimulates Leydig cells. So first, let's explain the histology, but bear with me, it's not exactly, it's just a diagram. The Leydig cells this has a T here because they produce testosterone. They are the factory houses to produce testosterone. So we have testosterone here to remind us that also its secretion of testosterone or testosterone production causes negative feedback. It inhibits the GnRH at the hypothalamus, and then also inhibits the LH at the anterior pituitary. So the testosterone inhibits these areas up here. Once the testosterone enters the cell, some other functions occur. We'll go into that in a second. The FSH enters our gonads or male's gonads, and then it enters a cell within a cell, I guess you could say. The Sertoli cells. The function of the Sertoli cells is to protect the developing spermatocytes. They're called like nurse cells. They nurse the spermatocytes until they develop into sperm. The way the Sertoli cells protect the developing spermatocytes is through the blood-testis barrier, which has tight junctions between the Sertoli cells, because males' bodies do not recognize the sperm or developing spermatocytes in this case, as part of the person. They consider it foreign. So the I here will be for the negative feedback, which is caused by the inhibin secreted by the Sertoli cells. This causes the inhibitory effect of the FSH at the anterior pituitary. So once the FSH gets inhibited by the inhibin, it stops the anterior pituitary from releasing, which then stops the gonads from further making testosterone or DHT in the males, and from further making sperm. So down here we have the ABP, which is the androgen binding protein. Once testosterone enters, it gets binded, and then it also gets concentrated. The testosterone does. The androgen binding protein then promotes the spermatogenesis, which is just the making of sperm, through the semifurosous tubules of the testes. The spermatogonia ultimately reach some stages to reach the sperm stage. How does that happen? You could just think of it like the meiosis 1. After the spermatogonia, the meiosis 1 grabs the primary spermatocyte, hence the 1, and turns it into the secondary spermatocyte. Meiosis 2 grabs the secondary spermatocyte and then converts it into spermatids. And then after that, maturation occurs, which then ultimately become sperm. All right.